He is the chosen one. He's our good friend Tyron Woodley. He'll be joining us in a matter of moments. We found out last week that he is a part of the new Global Fight League, and I wanted to get a little bit of color. I wanted to get some insight. We had Anthony Pettis and Kevin Lee on immediately after Darren Owen's announcement to talk more about it, but let's talk to Tyron. He's going to give us the goods. He's going to shoot straight with us, and he's kind enough to join us right here and now. There he is. Hello, Tyron. How are you?
What's up, Ariel? How you doing, my man?
It's good to talk to you, my man. Wanted to actually have you on last week, but you were in the air, I think, coming over from the Middle East.
Yeah,
So,
I was coming back from Dubai.
man, you spent a lot of time there, huh? It's like your second home?
Yeah, you know what I mean. I like Dubai because you got to recognize in that space is the opposite of what I'm used to. I'm from the murder capital of the world,
Hmm.
right? So I got to watch everybody's intentions. I feel like the business that's presented to me out there is kind of upfront. I kind of know people's intentions. It's a few fluffers and fast talkers there, but in general, just it's a lot of good opportunities and a lot of opportunities for culture. And I feel like I am culture. So shit, let's cook up.
Okay. And so let me ask you about this GFL because I'll be honest with you. I did hear from a couple people saying, like, hey, I saw my name on that list that was revealed on our show last week. And, like, I haven't quite signed just yet. And so what is your status? Are you fully in with this new organization?
Yeah, I'm fully in with the organization. I feel like, so many people called me, was asking me, am I in, right? Because they know I'm not gonna step to the plate and I'm not gonna be a part of nothing that's bullshit. I'm not gonna be a part of something that's not gonna pay me super handsomely or put me at a platform where, you know what I mean, the media and the attention I gather from that was just gonna build my brand up. So everybody that probably signed maybe 90% of them called me and made sure that they said you're in. Are you really in? So yeah, I like it because I like that the OGs get paid, man. Like getting boxing money in MMA is a whole flex, and I'm just excited to be a part of the new wave. And I've been wanting to get back in MMA. I really just kind of like put it on pause. Like I kind of ghosted it for a minute, and it never really ghosted me when I needed it. So I've been making this journey back anyway, and it was a good opportunity. It had some Ric Flair drip with the digits on the payout, and then it made sense for me.
When did they first kind of come in contact with you, and when did this deal get done? Like, when did it all get really serious between you two?
My deal was quick. It was me that took longer because I do so many different things that I can't basically agree to a contract that I would already breach. I'm going to be commentating as a freelancer. I'm going to be commentating on the zone. You see me commentate, with you with the MVP situation, commentating PFL. So with a league, sometimes you see fighters from the league, maybe not in the PFL, but like in the UFC, you see those guys analyze. Like I even still have a contract with the UFC and ESPN. You still can see me on the desk anywhere. And I like to have that freedom because I feel like big moments and big fights I want to cover, it don't matter the promotion. So I had to make sure that was ironed out. I like the fact that when I told them what I needed to make, they didn't try to do a whole bunch of negotiation because I'm too far in the game for you to be trying to negotiate with me and play games when you just started, right? So that was the first thing that made me take it serious. It was no back and forth. When I said this is what it's gonna cost for me to put on these 4 ounce gloves and bust some nuggets up, this is what they gave out. And also just the thought process of the revenue share and the different branding and the way that, what I mean, we can get it closer, what I mean, closer to like some of these other sports we watch. It was very interesting.
So,
Sorry,
so
interesting.
So when you mention like boxing money and MMA and whatnot, what do you mean? Because to me, I'm like, I always beat the drum. I want the fighters to get paid. I want them to get more. They all deserve more. You guys deserve back pay. But, you've been around the sport a long time, and sometimes you see people come into the sport, they pay a lot of money, maybe most famously Affliction, right? They were only able to put on 2 events, and then they ran out of money. And so are there any concerns if they are paying massive, massive money out the gate that will dry up very quickly?
I mean, if I was a promoter of the organization, I may have some concern just because the roster, you can see how many. Like he sent me a couple more yesterday. That's not even on that list that you guys have, and I think it's 4 or 5 more world champions. So when I look at that, what I mean, it doesn't make me fearful because I'm not the promoter. All I can do is do my best, go train my ass off, bring as much value to the promotion I can bring. Talk about it, you know what I mean? Let everybody know how they can watch it. We still got to educate. Like MMA is still young as hell. It's under 40 years old. We still got to continue to educate the fans on what the sport is and what they even watching. Because they're still saying it's just, you know what I mean? Are you doing what's the difference between MMA and UFC? Like we still are hearing that, and it's telling us that we need to educate. So I don't have any concerns. I'm at the part of my career where, I'm gonna let people see and I'm gonna remind them of who I am. And I feel like that's important for myself. And I think it's important for my fans that was with me for all those years that they see me go out and show them that, you know what, this is why we like Tyron, but this is why we didn't like Tyron. Either way it go, you know me, I'm gonna give them something to remember.
How do you feel about the format? The regular season, playoff points, the teams, LA, New York, all that stuff. How do you feel about that?
Man, I'm to be honest, I feel like I'm gonna be fighting super fights. And I never really got an opportunity to fight super fights when I was in the UFC. I wanted to so bad. And I think that's what me and the brass kind of brushed heads a couple times because I was just begging for the Bisping fight, begging for the GSP fight, begging for the Nick, Connor. And it was all guys that was around my time, around my weight, and they all just didn't want to fight. And you can't make people fight that don't want to fight. You know what I mean? But in this situation, I feel like you'll see a couple guys that sign that is going to really, really raise your eyebrows. That's probably who I'm going to end up fighting.
Oh, okay. Any hints?
It'll be a big fight. It's a fight that I should have had in the UFC that I didn't. I actually spoke about having this fight. I'll let you people will be able to do their research. I actually spoke about having this fight, and then people were acting like I was capped, like it was never a fight, like I was just making it up, even though I was offered the fight. So that fight can take place. It's some fights that I didn't even expect, but I'm like, hell yeah! If you want to let me take this lunch money right quick to this buster, I would kindly beat his ass. I'm tired of hearing him anyway. So there's a couple of those in there too. So I'm excited. Like that kind of stuff makes me excited. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a lot of stuff on the roster as well.
Are you exclusive to them as far as fighting is concerned?
Um, I can't really talk about my contract because I don't want to have other fighters and managers get upset. Um, but you know me, Ariel, I got to do my thing, and I feel like um, MMA, I'm going to be fighting for them a couple times next year. I could fight before then too. You know what I mean? I could fight early in the year. Right now, it's not looking like it's promising that it can happen, and I could fight later in the year. But it will be a time where you'll see me dedicated and kicking ass for the GFL.
And what is the motivation for you at this point? You've won the belts. You've fought the vast majority of the top guys in your weight class, and you've been away as far as MMA is concerned for a few years now. To come back in 2025, you're 42 at the moment. Like what is driving you? What's the motivation?
I mean, to be honest with you, I was when they called me about this offer in this fight. I was praying to God, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I still got it. I'm still fast. I'm still good. I'm like the sport hasn't passed me. There's not like a fighter I can think of that's like, oh my God, I don't want to, he's just too much to deal with. I knew when I saw fighters that was way faster, way more skilled, and it was they wanted it more, then those fighters would be the next generation. You know what I mean? I don't see those fighters that make me feel that way. I do see those fighters for sure in UFC, but not in my division and not in my crosshair. So I was in a point of kind of like trying to define what I'm supposed to do because a part of me could be pride, right? God could say, hey, your last fight was technically supposed to be Darren Till, right?
Hmm.
And your distractions and detours made you stay in this road longer, right? It could be me just wanting to go out on a win. It could be me just wanting to show everybody else what I got, right? But sometimes when you do too many things that bring it back to you, I feel like I'm not involving God with that. I feel like I got into this sport real clearly to show people that God's real through me and be a vessel and go out there and people be like, man, this kid, something special about him. And when they ask me, I would explain them my secret sauce. I kind of got away from that a little bit with all the razzle dazzle, all the clubbing, all the money. Man, I was killing it. I was Like I had people that didn't pay me for a year, and I didn't even notice because I was working too much. I was on Fox 3 or 4 days a week. I was doing my own TMZ show. I was doing music. I was doing movies. I was fighting. Fought 4 world title fights in 1 year. I was on the 205 card, which is historically the biggest gate in Madison Square Garden history. I fought John Jones, fought Cormier, which is a big fight card as well. So I've been a part of some big cards, and even when I fought Darren Till, I was smashed in between the Triple G Canelo one and a Conor McGregor fight. So I was smashed in between that, but I still showed up, showed out. Shout out to Darren Till, but I did beat him like a drum. And I was thinking about everybody that was doubting me. So he got a whooping that he didn't even deserve. Like I did it. You know what I mean? What am I gonna go back and win another title and that made me more of a legend or like what is a legend? Like I feel like my goal is to just ask God, what we doing? You know what I mean? Because I could do other shit and probably make the same or more money, but I feel like this chapter deserves a proper closing, right? Either me saying I'm done or me going out there and turning up one more time for the one. And I feel like the turn up was an option. Right as I'm praying about that, this offer comes in. It was pretty smooth. Compared to other negotiations. I'm getting paid. Like people need to quit saying what you worth because we don't even know what we worth. So calm that down. I'm getting paid what I asked for. And I didn't get somebody to try to put me on clearance to try to put a red sticker on my fucking brand. They said, okay, let's go. All right. And we did it.
Wow. How
So
many?
that's my motivation. I'm excited. You know what I mean? I feel like my story and my fight career is gonna be spoken about, maybe written about, and hopefully people coming through, not just kids, but also adults that go through these choices. And I had a lot of choices. Like I feel like if I never lost focus ever, like where you see all these guys in Riyadh season making these crazy bags, you see all these like these are my training partners. Like Bilal is my dog. That's my training partner. Johnny Evelyn is my training partner. Like Usman, I like mentored Usman, right? So like to even think that somebody in those categories, like I used to torture Colby Covington in training camp. I used to pay him $500 to dust him up every week, and he left early. Like a lot of people don't know that. So like I got distracted. I let the things that came with success take me off of my focus. And when you take your eyes off your focus, I was in the season of harvest. I had already planted them good seeds. I was a savage. Nobody was outsmarting me. Nobody was out working me. Nobody was out conditioning me. Nobody was out training me. Nobody was out thinking me. I covered every fucking base for a long time, and I was living a better life. I wasn't doing bullshit. Then it got to the point where I was doing so well when I started planting those other seeds in the ground, right? I really didn't trip off. I'm sowing seeds that are going to later harvest. Right now, it ain't me training hard and being a good father and being a great businessman that was making me win. It was what I did in the season before that was making me win. Right. So as I was winning and winning those titles back to back to back, shutting everybody up, you know what I mean? Then as I was planting those seeds, what came after that? That's when the drought came. That's when people that like I beat all the savages, Gorilla, Natural Born Killer, Ruthless, and then I lose to fucking Gilbert. No disrespect on everybody, but just listen to the way it sounds. I lose to Marty, Gilbert, Luque, and Colby after smashing all the guys at on paper. Like Hunter and Dana called me themselves like, Tyron, I don't see nobody that's gonna beat you now. After I beat everybody, me beating in the front of it. So focus is a big thing. Like if anybody watching this, no matter what builds you in, stay focused, man. Like look at the people like LeBron James ain't perfect, but him, Steph Curry, and these other people, I think they stay focused just a little bit more. Like my dog Ray Lewis told me, he said, I lost focus 5 times in my entire fucking NFL career. I'm like, I lose focus 5 times a day. You know what I mean? So that's long winded, but that's real shit. That's why you want me on here because
No, I
that's
appreciate it.
really where I'm coming from. That's really where it's at, and it's not perfect, but it's pure.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the answer,
Yeah.
the thoughtful answer, as always. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I'd be remiss if I don't actually follow up on that Colby story because I'd never heard that before. Can you tell us more about that? What is that all about?
I mean, Kobe is a like. like I don't want to rain on this parade, but the parade kind of over with. I think he disrespect the division. I think he disrespect other fighters by just picking and choosing a fight. Um, I had defended the belt several times while he had an interim belt, and then now he comes and fights me when they think I'm down and out. Colby used to come in like we used to laugh at him. Like I remember being at Dan Lambert house. No bullshit. It was me, Hector Lombard, Robbie Lawler, Tiago Alves, Ben Saunders. It was like a welterweight poker night at Dan Lambert house, right? It was really fly, to be honest. We watched them fight. And I don't think Kobe was there, but we was all laughing how Kobe was just so capped. He was going and telling other people how we were all scared to train with him, how he can't get no good work here. Like he was talking to these other teams like alpha males or whatever's about that. And then we was all like, we all made a bet, like an inside bet. All right, if he can last one round with any of us that's trying to like really put it on him, we'll all give him 100,000. It was something ridiculous. That's how at that time that we was that confident. So I feel like with Kobe, I brought him in to St. Louis. I paid him. I put him in this nice place to stay. I paid for all his food. I took him to the gun range. I set him up with chicks. Like I did everything, like boxing private lessons, jiu-jitsu private lessons, strength and conditioning private lessons, on top of paying them. Nobody was doing it for their training partners. I take care of my training partners. But he was just always like running. He ran for me the whole training camp. He literally didn't want to work out. We doing wrestling drills, and you looking around like, who the hell else will I want to fucking help me wrestle besides you? That's why you're here. I was fighting Roy McDonald. Come in there because I knew Roy, and he did pressure my ass too, did he? I figured Roy would try to pressure me and push me against the cage, which he did. But Kobe came in camp and he just ran from me, and he just was do stupid shit. Like I'll be choking him out, and I would have to make the choice: do I keep choking and put him in sleep? Do I break his arm? And then I'm like, I'm not gonna be a dick. And then he'll be like, oh, pop out like he got out. Like Kobe, you do stop. But it's a whole movie in itself. Like if I send you a video, it would be kind of shady, which I'm not in that space. Like I don't take the curtain off of an act that's good. His act is trash. It was funny for a little bit when we was bored, when John was on a hiatus, Ronda wasn't fighting, Connor was out. Everybody was we listened to Kobe because he just came in. But in reality, I used to torture Kobe. He never won a moment of anything, not even a minute. He never won a moment or any exchange one time. And I think he left early acting like his foot was hurt in the training camp. And these are all credit. He asked Taylor Crawl, Roger Crawl's son, asked Edmund Belbusu, asked Derek Fairchild, asked Dean Thomas. And I remember the final day, like, I should be saving this for my memoir because I got a fire ass memoir, all these stories. But Ariel, you my dog. You always been 100. So I'm giving you the cream of the crop. I told Kobe the last day that he trained with me. I said, Kobe, you a dick. And I said, today, if you act like you getting out of an armbar, or if you don't submit to a choke, or if you get mad that I took you down and have an attitude, and I'm a fucking two-time All-American Hall of Fame wrestler, like I'm not supposed to take you down. If you run for me, I'm going to break your fucking arm today. I'm going to choke you out. I'm going to knock you out. If you run for me and you run off the mat like you've been doing all camp, I'm going to follow you on the carpet and I'm going to commence to beating your ass. Or we got that clear. He said, yeah. And we sparred and he left the next day.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
that's real shit.
Well, he fought another St. Louis guy, and I know you've kind of had an off and on
No,
relationship with you
yeah,
guys.
no, yeah. Me and
Joaquin.
I kind of I didn't watch the fight yet. I don't like to do everything everybody else doing, right? So I'm
Okay.
gonna go back and check it out. Me and Joaquin started training with my first trainer, Mike Rogers, and I started back training. So we kind of started training at the same time. It's kind of like Joaquin's been at my gym many years, right? But he's the kind of kid that see you like, no, I think I can beat you. I wanna get in the gym and try to spar you to see where I'm at. And at that point in my career, I couldn't be sparring guys that was trying to measure where they were at because you get hurt or I hurt you trying to fucking teach you a lesson, right? Either way it goes, it's no bueno for either one of us. So we never really got a chance to train when he was trying to train with me. But he was at my gym. He was at a couple of gyms quite often. But yeah, so I was gonna actually try to make it out to the fight, but I ain't. For my first UFC fight, going back to spectate, I didn't want it to be Colby Covington. You know what I mean? That ain't.
Yeah.
I'd rather rush Alex Pereira or something like that because he was savage.
So, I was curious because we actually just spoke about this. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It was yesterday with Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
And, I think in the past we've talked about Aljo, but now we're starting to see the story again with Merab, where, they're kind of pressuring him to come back quicker, and he's at
these people better quit letting pressure bust their pipe. Like I told Aljo, I said, yo ass shouldn't have fought. Because guess what? Nobody want to hear, oh, you took the fight anyway when you was injured or you wasn't feeling good. Oh, my nephew coming through. You wasn't feeling good. Nobody want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear that. So at the end of the day, right? Don't fight when you're not ready to fight. Mentally, physically, emotionally, right? Because if you lose, you're not going to get another chance. You'll be better off letting them go on and interim the shit out your division, come back, fight when you mentally ready, physically ready, and emotionally ready to fight. Because it's two different things going on. A promoter got to get a certain amount of events with a certain amount of razzle dazzle on it. People in asses and seats, and people buying t-shirts and beer. That's their job. Their job is not to think if you having a mental health crisis, if you are injured like a motherfucker, and like I fought all my title fights injured as hell, right? You don't get them choices and options. So I think I'm not trying to start a fucking revolt, but just think about it. Would you rather come back and fight an interim champion to make it an undisputed belt as still champion, or would you rather go out there and then after the fight say, oh, what, I wasn't healthy, I fought too much, and I was injured. You know what I mean? Say, just think about your career a little bit more logically. Do what's best for you. And if they don't like it, like it was sometimes the UFC loved me because I took that fucking Dung Young Kim fight. I think elbowed the shit out of Holloway in like a millisecond. Took that fight on 2 weeks' notice. I took Damian Maia fight on 3 weeks' notice, sorry. I took Darren Till fight on 3 weeks' notice, and I wasn't healthy for any of those fights. But I came through. I came through clutch. You know what I mean? But these guys got to think about them because
you mentioned the Darren Till fight. I just wanted to ask because I saw Merab. I was worried for him because it seems like he's not just fighting Umar in January; he's fighting the promotion as well. He seemed very emotional and upset. And I'm
I don't
wondering
want to get into that area. I don't want to say that.
What I'm just saying.
I ain't co-signing that because
you have felt that, right? Where you're not just fighting the guy that in the cage.
Fight. No, I did, but now I'm out of it, so now I'm wiser. It ain't no fight. That's their promotion. You're fighting for them. So these are the terms we agree or we don't agree. It's our choice, right? We can't say, okay, somebody keep doing to us. They don't have you at gunpoint. We can all slide whenever we want. Or we can test the waters and go fight somewhere else and just get sued up. But we got choices. If I had a choice to go back, I would recognize way earlier that no matter what I feel, or no matter if I think I'm getting set up or whatever, this they motherfucking promotion. And at the end of the day, they're gonna do what's best for them. I got to make a way to keep winning, make as much money as I can while I'm here, because we can't act like I'm the biggest signee of this league, right? Because I'm a 5-time champion. Where? In the UFC. We can act like that and like, oh, it's just because we just signed them. No, I got signed because I did it 4 times in a year, right? So at the end of the day, that I don't feel bad for Merab. I talked to Merab a long time ago about what he should do. I talked to him in private in California when Aljo still had the belt. I told him, this is your brand, dog. Do this right here. Say this shit. Move like this. Stand on this. Because this is you anyway. So if you be like this, fighters are they're gonna have to fight you, and the fans are gonna love you, right? And that's not what he's doing right now. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, I'm not the boss of him.
Sure.
I told Joaquin a couple things too. He wasn't listening either.
Can I ask what you told him?
Joaquin or the other one?
Buckley.
Merab. I told Buckley, shit, your resume is a highlight reel. Like, quit asking for main events and quit asking for, you know what I mean, like these things in St. Louis and all this. Like, that's not that important. You're trying to be the best in the world. Just keep winning, fucking people up like you've been doing. You're fun to watch. You actually look like you're genuinely having fun out there, which is very rare that somebody's having fun getting punched and punching. And you know what I mean? You built fucking, you ripped up, you know what I mean? You say funny shit. You got this uncle mustache. That's the big brother me teasing him. And it's like you I'm not gonna forget you, right? His brand can be crazy. Like watch this. I'm gonna help my dog out free. Watch this. Give me a year. I'm gonna help Joaquin Buckley with his brand. And
Okay.
then 1 year you're gonna see a whole bunch of different activations, endorsements, sponsorships, which when you're worth more outside the UFC, they have to pay you more. That was what I did.
Right.
They didn't like it. When you worth more outside, when you get back on this other side, they got to pay you more. I'm gonna help them out.
Okay. All right. Can I just ask, because you were talking about taking fights on short notice and whatnot? Amazingly, it just occurred to me the second Jake fight was exactly 3 years ago today, believe it or not, December 18th, which is
Yeah.
wild. Do you regret taking that one on 2 weeks' notice? I remember you joining us from the
Hell
set of,
no.
of
Hell
you
no.
don't regret it.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't regret it at all. I had flew my coach out training as if because some my gut told me that my spirit they never failed me. It's always been a buck. So I don't know why I went against my spirit. But I brought my coach GT out, brought him out to St. Louis, and he never got a chance to really work on the basics.
Mm.
Gonna try to get him back.
All right, we lost him there real quick. We were fighting through it a couple times, and just a few more minutes with Tyron, dropping some wisdom, dropping some knowledge on all of us, and reaffirming that he is
He's
100%
back now whenever you.
involved with GFL. Okay, Tyron, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry
Okay.
about that. Now, what I'm saying is, I brought my coach GT. I brought him out, and I brought him out as if I was fighting Jake anyway, right? And then I did that for weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in St. Louis. He came out to Atlanta and trained me on the set of Cobra Kai. That was kind enough to let me train on set. And literally, it was like maybe 4 weeks before the fight. I'm like, damn, this fight gonna go actually happen. So then I started training more just for fun. So sometimes when you're not in the fight camp, you like sparring and just laughing and poking fun at each other. And I went to the gym from camaraderie and just to like sweat. So I was still kind of moving around, but I wasn't moving. Excuse me. I wasn't moving around like I was when I was anticipating fighting them. So then when Nikisa hit me about fighting him, it was like 2 weeks. And I was like, let me go train. Let me go train real hard and see how I feel. That's that I did ask Dana. I did that to everybody. Let me go train real hard. So I go in the gym and I train like it's a fight. And I tell myself, yo ass out of shape, yo ass is gonna get beat, or no, let's go ahead and get this. So I said, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was beating him the whole fight. Like literally, I dropped my hand one time at the wrong time when the whole training camp was never drop your hands. I got too comfortable. I hit him, I slammed him, I headbutted him, I did some other shit. And then it got to the point where it's like I was kind of just like, whatever. Then I thought he was gonna throw overhand because that's my punch. Then I'm like, he not gonna throw it. Right when I said he not gonna throw it, he lit that motherfucker up. So
What do
I
you?
was gonna win that fight. You know what I mean? One mistake, he threw a punch at the same time as one mistake. I mean, I was winning. Was that 6th round? I was winning every single round. So
What do you make of this Conor McGregor Logan Paul stuff?
what they talking about fighting?
Yeah, he posted something
I mean,
yesterday.
UFC merged with WWE, so I mean, I would imagine anything's open right now.
Okay.
I wouldn't downplay anything.
For you though, you're gonna come back. Do you know when this first fight for GFL would be?
I know the earliest fight is in April.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know exactly when. Like I'm not at the liberty to say yet because I feel like it depends on who I'm fighting. If when I'm fighting one of the names that makes a lot of sense, just storyline wise, and just people will actually fucking want to go and watch it, no matter what league is on. Um, I feel like that they may take a few more months to promote. So I may not be the first fight in April, but I'm preparing as if I fight in April. Like getting back on the mat, shit. Not wrestling in a long time or grappling, and like now all of a sudden you can elbow. Oh, I miss them.
Huh.
So like it's going to take me at least 4 weeks to acclimate. So I'm going to be prepared for April anyway.
By the way, is it ring or cage?
Cage.
Okay. And are you talking about GSP?
Hey, Ariel.
I mean, it seemed like you were alluding to that, but you could tell me to go F off, but I feel like I should probably just ask straight up.
You know GSP.
I'm going to call him up after
That's
this.
your dog. Right?
I'm going to call up my boy.
When you gonna get a Tyron Woodley bobblehead on your desk? Like,
do you have a Tyron Woodley ball? Is there one?
Let's make one. Everybody online. Ariel's the #1 dude in this shit we call broadcast.
Sure. Whatever you want, yeah.
Right? Me and him need to split a deal on a bottle.
No, I don't want to split it. You take it all. I just want to have it on my desk.
Show.
I want you to get paid for it.
Hey, if you shoot the bird down, we break bread at the table. That's how it works.
Fair enough. All right. Well, this is exciting. Exciting things. By the way, it's not Eddie Hall, is it?
Hey, you're a researcher.
What's this guy Eddie Hall saying? There was talks of you guys fighting. This is a gigantic dude. He's like 350 pounds.
Oh, he said something about me fighting him?
Yeah, but then he said, "No, I'm not doing
it." Yeah. Somebody asked me to fight his ass. I said, "You mean the dude that fought 2 people?" They said, "Yeah, but we're gonna make you MMA so you have extra weapons." No, his big ass gonna have a 4-ounce glove to fucking punch you with. What am I finna nah?
All right.
I ain't for that circus show. I'm for the shenanigans, but I ain't for the shit show. I ain't finna be fighting no 300. Somebody did ask me to fight him, but it was not enough money. They wanted me to do it in like 2 or 3 weeks, all the way in fucking Ireland somewhere, and I was like, nah,
no,
I'm not the one for that. I'm not the one that even offered that. I'm surprised you even offered me that. But
you did do a reality show in Russia with Luke Rockhold, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
Trashing Rockhold on that show.
Was there a fight at the end of it, or was there supposed to be a fight?
No, it wasn't a fight at the end of it. I mean, Rockhold got out of pocket once or twice, and we had to make sure we're not ever going to do that again. The cameras are not cameras. But I respect Luke. Like, you know what I mean? When I was coming up, he was coming up at the same time. You know what I mean? He was always trying to prove himself just because of the AKA gym. And he was a good measuring stick for, like, cardio if I was in good shape and if I was iron and griddle. So I ain't gonna talk shit on Luke, but on the show I was talking mad shit.
Man, always very busy, but it's exciting that you're coming back, and I'm happy to hear you confirm that you are a part of these plans. And
I'm excited to get in camp. I don't know why. That's the shittiest part of fighting, but there's so much stories from camp. I'm excited to get in camp again.
I'm happy to hear that you are excited and in good spirits as well. Thank you as always, Tyron. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for the great stories and the insight, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Happy holidays to you as well, my man.
There he is, the great Tyron Woodley joining us, the former UFC welterweight champion, now a part of the big GFL plans. Thanks for watching this video. Hey, before you go, do me a favor, hit that sub button, give us a thumbs up, hit the little bell thingy as well, leave us a nice comment or two. We appreciate you all very much.